Good morning, guys. Abby here, and I just wanted to do a really short little video because I was thinking, this is something a lot of people are probably dealing with right now. For breakfast, for Miss Charlotte, I know today that we're going to have a little Christmas party, and I know that as Christmas parties and school goes on, that they're going to get more sugar handed to them. And, one decision that I made when I started doing more of that high-fat, low-carb diet, we're not strict keto. We just try and increase our fats and, lower our sugar, and we use ketones to just kind of get us through the day. And, but for her, and I know that people will give her sugar. And my answer is always going to be not no, but teaching. How do you feel after you eat that? And I want to prime kind of her body for later in the day where she may have sugar and I'm not there. And, I'm not going to be that mom who goes and tells the teacher, no sugar for my kid. Hey, but a lot of kids have issues and maybe they need that diet. I was reading a book last week on the ketogenic diet with children who have epilepsy, and yeah, that they would need no sugar because that would trigger a medical issue. But just normal, normal dietary, I want to be able to control what I can in my house in the morning to set her up for things I can't control later in the day, which is her eating more sugar and cookies. And so what we did this morning, I'm out of bacon. We usually like doing bacon for breakfast, but we just got some scrambled eggs. And then I'm going to show you what I did was I just poured some whole milk into, I just heated it up because she loves hot chocolate. And then what I'm going to do is, because we're out of bacon, and I want to make sure that I send her out with satiety, like feeling full. And that's what fats do. And one of the reasons why I start my day with fats now is because it makes you more metabolically flexible. Who talks about this? Jacob and Ryan Lowry have talked about this in studies. I've read about the studies where they did this controlled study on animals, giving them a high carbohydrate diet in the morning versus giving them a high fat diet in the morning. And throughout the entire day, they were wired. What you eat for breakfast wires you throughout the rest of the day on what you're able to process, break down, shuttle through, and function off of. So the high fats was way more efficient metabolically. So that's what we're trying to do. That's just what we're trying to do for us. And it allows me as a mom to be a little bit more flexible later in the day because it really helps with insulin sensitivity also to start your kids on a high-fat breakfast. So I'm taking the keto cream, and it is full of good fats. It has coconut oil and MCT oils. I'm just gonna give her a half a pack here. And just start with a quarter of a pack for your child, just to make sure their stomach is good. But, I have even adults who can't handle some of these fats. And I'm like, that means you need to take it down a little and keep working up to it, because if you can't handle the fats, if it sends you to the bathroom every time you would drink some MCT or coconut oils, like, you need to be more fat adapted. And so you just want to take that serving down a little bit, and you want to start working yourself up. Your stomach it'll adapt, it'll create more enzymes to process that. And that's what people need. Sometimes they take something, they're like, oh, that didn't go well for me. That means you need to be taking it most often. So I put the keto cream in just some whole milk. And then the other thing I'm going to do is put just a little bit of like raw cocoa powder. I mean just a little bit, because I am going to put a little more chocolate in this through the 3.0 ketones. There's non-caffeine version out now. It tastes like a Tootsie Roll, and when you mix it with like milk and a little baker's chocolate, you're getting really good hot chocolate. So I'm just pouring about a half a scoop in that. And then the purple, or the Keto OS 3.1, the chocolate, those ketones, they are sweetened with stevia, but I'm going to add just like 1 or 2 drops of the vanilla. Somebody's messaging with questions. So just 2 drops of there, because when you make hot chocolate, you put a little bit of vanilla in it. former Starbucks management skills kicking in right there. So, and by the way, we just saved like 400 calories. So if you're someone who's used to going to Starbucks for, you know, Starbucks is going to hate me. I'm just not even going to go there, but we're saving you calories. So I'm a big Starbucks fan. I'm also a big health fan. So I've got that. I've got our little hot chocolate ready. Make sure you taste it. Oh, she's going to love this. Full of fats. Gonna give her satiety. Got her eggs. And now she is ready to go into the day feeling full. And by the way, so many studies, if you look at studies for children who are getting on the ketogenic diet just for seizures, behavior, there's lots of benefits for them on behavior, cognitive function, the way that parents see them respond within 1 or 2 weeks of taking out the sugar and carbs. Like I said, we're not going full-blown keto with my daughter, but when I can control it in my home, we start the day with high fats, and it really does help her throughout the rest of the day, and her cravings for sweets go down versus if we give her like oatmeal for breakfast, which we did for like 4 years before we kind of started down this higher fat venue. So my videos become way too long. I'm sorry about that, but that's what we're doing today. So that is the keto hot chocolate. A little bit of cream, a little bit of 3.0, a little bit of raw chocolate, whole milk, fills her up, and just makes her a good little girl. All right, we'll see you guys later.